Hey guys, Tim and Adam here, and we want to welcome you back to Flipperflix. You guys know how much Tim loves his foods, and he got to try a new one recently called 3 Wishes.
Yup. Breakfast being my favorite meal, I was excited to try this new cereal out. It's high in protein, low in sugar, and grain-free.
I thought I saw that 3 Wishes is free from wheat, dairy, soy, oats, corn, rice, and peanuts.
That's right. It's plant-based and gluten-free certified, made with modern-day clean ingredients like chickpeas, pea protein, and tapioca.
Well, that sounds like a feat of food science.
One that took 2 years to develop.
Incredible! So what flavor of these 3 Wishes did you devour, Tim? I saw they had cocoa, cinnamon, honey, and unsweetened.
I went with cocoa, and it was delicious.
With 70% less sugar and as much as 8 times the protein of their decadent counterparts, there can't be anything like this on the shelf right now.
And there isn't. 3 Wishes is now offering our listeners 10% off with the code PODCAST10.
So head to their website at www.3wishescereal.com to learn more.
We hope you enjoy this episode.
Interstellar! I don't know what that was. I think was that supposed to be a Christopher Nolan
Christopher Nolan. Kazoogle. Yeah. I didn't remember the intro because I felt like doing that.
Hi guys, I'm Adam here with Flipperflix.
I'm Sam, and Flipperflix is a podcast where we review movies. I don't know what I was attempting to say, but that did not.
You were doing.
You're probably going to say unprofessionally.
A spoonerism. You were going to do a spoonerism.
Yeah,
that was about to happen.
Exactly. Which I don't remember what episode we go over spoonerism, but I know
ago.
we had
Yeah.
an in-depth conversation on it.
It's a
Was
couple
the last
ago.
one?
It might have been. But we're on social media where we do fun things like make you vote on, your favorite movies of a certain genre or your favorite characters, or you could just see what the hell we're watching for the week. You can find us on Instagram or Twitter. God, I can't talk today.
Were you going to say quitter?
Yeah, because I'm a quitter. Fuck, you ruined my train of thought.
Sorry. We release episodes?
No, that's not. Our Flipperflix handle is at Flipperflix.
Oh, okay.
That's redundant, but you were rushing me. We release episodes every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all the normal podcasting platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, you name them. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Tim, do you want to take it away?
Yeah. We watched Interstellar this week. I will give you the synopsis on it if you're not familiar with it. It's a movie from 2014, a little bit long. It is a Christopher Nolan movie.
A little bit long?
A little bit long, but it doesn't feel long, but we'll get to it. So from director Christopher Nolan comes a story of ex-pilot Cooper, Matthew McConaughey, who must leave his family and Earth behind to lead an expedition beyond this galaxy to discover whether mankind has a future among the stars.
Ooh.
I swear we need a new noise.
Ah.
Eh?
Hey. Ah.
I mean, at least we're consistent. People can expect that after
Yeah.
the synopsis every time.
This is true. Tim, what did we spin?
Split the pod, and I guess I couldn't fully remember. I'm guessing I love this movie. I guess I'll just start there. So yeah, we split the pod expectations. I'll just go ahead and kick it off there. It's basically where you pick one person that has the movie they liked, and then expect the other person not to like it. I just explained that terribly, but
close enough.
You want to try and get at least one person to dislike it and
right.
one person
Yeah.
to like it.
Right.
So anyway, so I basically picked Interstellar because this movie's awesome, and I expected Sam not to like it too much necessarily, based on a few factors that I can't really remember right now.
I think it was like time travel.
Yeah, something to do with time travel, and I know because of Donnie Darko type stuff, her review for Donnie Darko kind of got me thinking in that aspect of it, and then it was just kind of like a longer, spacey sort of movie, so I was like, Sam probably... I don't know. I want to see if she would like it or not, but my expectations is she would have
slow
a little
burn.
a little bit of negativity towards it. But my expectation is I fucking love this movie. I watched it almost immediately after we decided we were watching it.
Yeah, and that was like a week ago.
Yeah, and I almost rented it again just because I fucking love this movie. I should own it, but I probably have a DVD somewhere of it. I don't even know. I don't. But yeah,
What do
I
you
mean,
think?
I don't know what else
He
to say
might.
besides I love this movie and I'm ready to review it and see what you guys say about it. I don't remember. Did you? We'll do you next, Adam, because
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen it.
neither of us had watched it.
Okay, I didn't think so.
As for me, I expected it to be more balmy, just like it's a Christopher Nolan film.
Well, yeah.
So
naturally.
you expect it to be loud, but then everybody to talk like they're whispering the whole damn movie. So if you have neighbors in an apartment complex or condo, you're going to piss them off because in order to hear them, you got to turn it up. But then suddenly a spaceship will go off and it'll shake your whole place. So I was expecting that. I expected a lot of spaceships and a lot of space travel and a lot of space stuff and Matthew McConaughey being a Texan. So those were really my expectations. I didn't see it in theaters. I hadn't seen it until now. I don't think I wanted to too badly. Otherwise, we probably would have gone.
Right.
It's pretty much if one of us wants to see a movie, we go watch it. Like it's not like we say no to most movies.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess I wasn't like pushing for it either.
Yeah.
But now Tim expected you not to like it.
I know. I figured I was the target of this one.
It seems like it goes back and forth between me and Sam. Sam's like, I'm going to make him watch a musical. And I'm like, I'm going to pitch you a
Exactly.
fucky mind fuck movie. Ha ha.
I'm gonna drag you through the coals on a 9-hour film.
Yeah.
Yes. That's true. You have the upper hand after this one. But I will say that, like, I think your target is valid because I feel like I'm a recent convert to science fiction movies. Like, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I definitely thought they were just, like, long, boring, and, like, who gives a fuck?
I think the turning point was 2015.
Yeah, they all feel, like, the same most of the time to me. I'm like, oh, great, it's a space movie. Oh, great, we're in a spaceship. But anywho, so, like, that feeling still resonates sometimes depending on the movie, but I feel like I've gotten a little bit more, like, breadth in my science fiction movies, so I'm more willing to watch them now. But then also, yes, time travel movies, like, it's a toss of a coin on whether or not I like them. Like, I think sometimes I like them and sometimes I think they're just garbage. So I will say I kind of like mindfuck movies sometimes again. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's really a teeter-totter of whether or not I like these things, and since this movie has all of these things, it was a good choice, I think. And I do like Christopher Nolan films usually as a general, like, thing. But for this one specifically, I remember a bunch of people told me to watch it, and a bunch of people were like, how dare you have not seen this film? And I was like, I don't know.
People were up in arms that we hadn't seen it.
Yeah, I don't remember why it was so big. Like, I just remember that it was big. And I remember hearing when it was big that, like, oh, it's visually stunning and, like, it's just a really great movie. And so I was like, okay, like, so expectations going into it, when I saw the runtime, I was like, fuck Tim. And then, I kind of, like, got over it, and I was like, okay, like, I'm in it to win it, you know, like, I can handle this. And then I think, like, in general, I was a little bit intrigued because I like Christopher Nolan, like I said,
Yeah.
so I was wondering if that would kind of be the saving grace for it, or if I would end up hating it. So I guess we'll find out.
Well, you said that, you were saying, like, with the visual effects. Like, this won the Oscar for visual effects.
Yeah.
And then, like, it was nominated for 148 others and then won 43 more. So, like...
That's a lot of awards.
It is. So I guess that's why everyone's like, how did you see this? I'm looking at Tim from a distance on that comment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like, everybody was confused how we hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
I think your brother was a big one.
Yeah.
But
it was a hot movie.
It was a hot topic.
And I don't really have a reason for why I avoided it. I don't think it was the runtime because I watch long-ass movies.
Yeah, like Lord of the Rings Extended Edition is a normal film in this household.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord of the Rings, all three of them.
Right. I mean, I don't know. You can't get better than those usually, but
Those are 4 hours in length.
yeah, and
too,
and it's like you could sit through those and, like, you're like, yay, the whole time. I don't know. That's how I feel.
Oh yeah.
But
Definitely. I'm gonna just start out with this movie is a very corn-fed movie. Like,
I knew somebody was going to comment on the corn.
all of the corn, all the 500 acres of corn that Christopher Nolan purchased.
Nice.
He planted it and sold all the corn for a profit.
that's dope.
This guy's a genius.
Yeah.
Like, he
I'm
apparently
making a movie. Let me get a corn hustle on the side.
Yeah.
he did it
Who's
for-
the corn guy?
like, something happened like with Man of Steel too. That's how he learned that you could sell the corn.
Oh.
Huh.
I've not seen Man of Steel because I don't typically watch the DC film.
Write that
As
down
much-
real quick.
Big question though. Where did he plant the corn? Ohio?
No, that was way too flat for Ohio.
And I think there were some mountains at one point.
Yeah. I think it was out west. I don't know. I couldn't figure out where it was. But NASA was there. So maybe Texas.
Maybe.
I only say that because like Houston, we have a problem. Houston.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I thought corn needed more temperate conditions.
I don't
but
know.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean, you
know.
know, as like
We're not
Ohio's
farmers.
like the corn state, right? So
Right.
I figured it was in the Midwest, but
I just kind of assume all the Midwest is a corn state.
yeah. But anywho, they did have a meal where they ate like 5 different types of corn.
They did, and I wrote down that kid is corn fed.
Yeah, and like, can you imagine? Like, I like corn. Don't get me wrong, and
Oh,
there are
yes.
many ways to eat corn. But if you had to eat corn like forever, I don't know if I could do it.
What they
mean-
had, what corn did they have? They had corn casserole, corn on the cob,
Yeah,
and then they had a third corn.
yeah, a third corn. It looked like just like regular corn that you eat. I don't know. I like corn. Obviously, we're from Ohio, so you get corn all the time. But like, damn, that's a lot of corn.
Tim, what's your opinion on corn, sir?
I love corn.
Are you you love corn?
Cornbread, corn on the cob.
That's the best.
I mean, it's just, I'll nom it all. But yeah, every day I'd be like, I want some
Corn
meat."
again,
I would
basically
probably start going crazy for meat.
right?
Yeah, I would too. But I'm just gonna say you'd be in quarantine.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's terrible.
I'll take
a
my
laugh.
leave. But at the beginning I wrote down like this poor corn because right off the bat Matthew McConaughey's character Cooper just drives through all this corn,
I know.
and I'm like, hey, I didn't know. Like, I mean, corn stalks aren't that like sturdy, but I thought that it would slow him down a bit more. I
Eh.
don't know.
That was a big ass vehicle.
It was, but it was also on a flat tire. too.
True.
It had
True.
what,
I know.
5 other tires?
It was funny.
Well, I guess that's kind of my first beef point. Like,
Right off the bat.
I know we're in a world where, you know, food is scarce. Like, we can't grow that many crops. And off the bat, we're just destroying some of the crops that we definitely need. And I was like, come on, bro.
I'm
Like,
gonna
I get
defend it. I'm gonna defend it. He wanted the computer out of the drone
I know.
to be able
So
to
I'm like,
produce
computer,
more
right?
corn, basically.
I thought it was the power unit.
The power unit, but he also uses the brain of them. He reprograms them to operate the machines.
yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I get it. But I'm also like, bro, you're killing corn. Unnecessary killing of corn.
Yeah.
Although in the grand scheme of things, like we said, like, it's probably displaced by the amount of corn that he was able to plant with the other machines.
Also, how much corn? Like, do you think they had an overabundance of corn?
No.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah. So then it's wasteful, but then
None of them looked like they were, like, dilapidated. Like, they all looked like they were normal weights. Like, you would think they would start being, like, a lot skinnier and, like, look emaciated.
Well,
That's
you're
what I
looking
was
at the
looking
people
for.
that probably get the first bit of. I mean, of course, the farmers are going to have their own, and then the
Yeah.
people, the scientists and stuff that are being funded secretly by the government, are going to be, nourished. So
true. Very true. But I will say, I was very happy when his kid almost drives off a cliff. And the quote is, I guess that answers the old-fashioned drive off a cliff scenario. Because he was like, he had to tell him to stop from driving over the cliff.
Right?
Like, come
Yeah.
on.
yeah, and
Come
he
on,
was
kid.
like, "You told me to keep going." It's
Yeah.
like, well, I guess that answers that question.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that
gosh.
was hilarious.
Did you
Yeah.
guys notice that Murphy was treating the drone like an animal, though? You're
Yeah,
killing
she
it! And I was
was.
like, the fuck?
Yeah, I thought that was a little strange.
You don't like Murph?
Oh,
Yeah, that was strange.
Sam doesn't like any girl.
No,
This is
that is
true.
not true.
I know.
I will get into
As you
it.
say, this is not true. He said this is true.
We'll get into it as the story progresses, but I think she makes some decisions that are a little ridiculous. But
Yeah,
that's okay.
I agree. I'll agree to that, but we'll get into them here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. You think that her punching a kid because they said that the moon landing was fake wasn't a good idea?
No, I think that was fine. I liked that part of her.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fighter in her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that part.
How'd it go? I got you suspended.
I thought that was hilarious.
I love how he defends them so well. I don't know. His defense of his kids is fucking great the whole
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Like he's like, are you fucking kidding me? When they're like ruling the kid out of, college and stuff, and then Murph gets in the fight, and he's like, yeah. She likes baseball, and there's a thing going. I'll take her to that. I think it's like,
Yeah.
it's fucking great.
The New York Yankees playing the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was hilarious because they were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think the first parts of the movie are pretty funny. There's just like a lot of little quips back and forth with him and his kids, and I liked him a lot.
When they're at the baseball game, you see the big dust storm, like that one guy in the crowd, like in the outfield season, and I'm like, first off, like that's pretty high up there already. Like, how did you guys not see that?
Right.
Coming from far away.
Also, wouldn't there be some sort of siren system? Like,
They do have a siren, like, towards...
Do they?
Yeah, during that scene, like, they're basically getting up to leave, and nobody has any sense of urgency, which is
I
interesting.
know.
But I think you probably get used to it. But as they're kind of starting to leave, you hear, like, one siren, and it's like, well, it's a little late for that.
I know. And I was like, come on, you guys, that shit can be seen far, far away.
I
You're in
agree.
cornfields.
Right.
kind of-
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that they don't show a system of warning, but then I almost wonder if it's like it's so normal that it's like a rainstorm for us, right?
Yeah.
Like unless it's super
That's
hardcore, you
true.
don't get a siren.
That's true. That's true. And like, I personally wouldn't drive in the dust storm. And like later on, they pull over.
Yeah.
Cooper's just like, nah, I'm getting home.
Well, yeah, I don't think you want to be caught at the baseball field in the storm, but you also don't want to drive. Like I think that the dust storm.
I think
would be
Tim
rough.
could do it.
Yeah.
I get it done.
Oh yeah, Tim would navigate us all
I
the
get
way
it done.
there.
Don't you worry about it.
He's got special goggles. He sees through
Yeah.
dust.
Yeah. Ultra instinct or whatever, you know.
Yeah. He can he can see every particle
I don't know
of
where
dust
this is
in
going.
the air.
I'm gonna
don't
cut it
either.
off now because I don't know where this is going.
You couldn't keep up with that?
Yeah.
All right. Well then, Tim, do you like gravity?
Yeah, gravity's cool.
Yeah. Keeps me grounded.
Ha.
I'm on my terrible pun game today, guys.
You certainly are.
But they all freaked out about gravity. Like it was a gravitational situation. What?
Yeah.
I thought that was weird. Nobody else thought that was weird. Like gravity is gravity. To
Right.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But I wondered if part of that might be, like, they're kind of trying to rewrite history, right? Like, they kind of buried the moon landings, and they had new textbooks, and, like, obviously, like, the professors and the stuff at NASA, like, were around for a long time and knew all that, but I almost wonder, like, what else did they change in their way of teaching, right?
Okay.
Where they kind of, like, revisionist history, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they don't focus on gravity as much because they don't need to for some... Who knows? It sounds like they basically were rearing people up to be farmers and they didn't give a shit about
Yeah,
anything
they're
else.
like, science is stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid science bitches.
Exactly.
Couldn't make my friend more smarter. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of strange because it's kind of like the old saying, like, if you forget history, you're deemed to repeat it or doomed to repeat it or whatever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like it's a completely different event, and NASA's being hidden as like a thing that's trying to save the world, but it would look bad to the public while people are starving, but those people would rather continue to starve and get worse than find ways of surviving elsewhere, is kind of like what they hinted at. It's like, it's kind of weird, and I guess that just kind of shows, like, I don't know, overreach, or I don't really know how to explain it. It just felt weird. It was like, why wouldn't people support the idea? I guess because if they're not directly involved with it and they're constantly like starving and blah blah blah, that you'd be like, hey, give me some resources so I don't just die on this planet while you're trying to figure a way off. But I don't know, it felt strange.
NASA got like in a lot of trouble with the government because they wouldn't nuke something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
well, they wouldn't build like a thing to be able to fire rockets from space, basically. Yeah.
oh yeah. Which is what is that called? Star Wars from the 1980s?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do want to kind of address that conversation that we were having, just to say, like, I like the concept of this movie because I don't think, like, it's totally overreaching that, like, we'd run out of resources, obviously. And I think we've talked about this when we talk about Thanos. But, yeah, like, I think it's totally reasonable that that would happen. And then I think we would be reactionary to that, just like we technically most of the time are reactionary and we're never really proactive as a species. And so then to have them swing back the other way and try to make everybody farmers. But then Cooper, I think, makes the point of like, no, but you still need those other people because once you like build back up your civilization, you know, like we're
if
gonna
everybody's
need,
a farmer.
right? Like we're gonna need other people. And so I don't know. I think it's hard because like people are like, you're spending money to. I don't see results, right? Because I think a lot of our society is instant gratification.
Yep.
Yeah. Dang, Tim, you picked this deep movie. But like a lot of it's like instant gratification. So like, oh, you're taking corn off my table. You know what I mean? To maybe have a plan B, basically. Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough all around, apparently, in this movie.
Yeah. I didn't get why they didn't all just go underground.
They started to at the end.
Yeah, I thought I heard that at the end.
That was kind of like later on when Murph was older. That was like, and everybody was leaving, and the son was like, I'm not going to go underground or live underground with you. That was like,
I thought that was referencing that he wasn't going to go to NASA with her.
I think that's where everybody was going. Was the Ark?
Okay.
The big Ark ship. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I didn't know why they didn't just send people into space like they do in every single like sci-fi movie. Like there's some sort of Halo disc where everybody like literally the building they built is not uncommon. Like I mean the Gundams have that building.
Right.
Halo is that, if I remember correctly. Dim?
I mean Halo sort of. Halo
like
was
the
a
second
weapon.
level.
Like,
I was thinking of the second level in the first game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
I was like, I thought I remembered it, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's weird to compare like universes like that because they're farther in the future and whatnot, but they obviously have like space stations, and this is like Gen 1 space station, and that's already far in the future where they have multiple.
Yeah. What's interesting to me is like the idea of like the ring-shaped like spacecraft.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell does gravity work there?
Centrifuge.
Well, they hit a baseball bat. They hit a baseball bat with a baseball bat. They hit a baseball and it just went up into somebody's house.
Well, it made it to the other side where gravity pulled it down.
Yeah. I just want to say that I want to try Zero G.
Mm-hmm.
Like really badly. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would be cool.
How would you feel, Sam?
I think it would be fun to do.
You can do stuff where you go up in a big plane and then they drop rapidly so you feel 0G for a brief moment.
Yeah.
Like the Archer episode. Where Lana is puking and Archer rides her into the puke.
Yeah.
Because I would definitely be Archer in that situation.
Yeah.
Being excited about Zero G, but Sam doesn't like motion sickness stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would try it and then I'd figure out later if I regretted it. And then I might course correct and not try it again.
Might be like, yeah, not for me, bro.
Like, if I know it's going to make me sick, I'm not like, let me go try it. But until I know, I'm willing.
You do ride Mission Space at Epcot now, though.
Yes, now that I know it won't make me sick.
But Tim rode that with us, and he did not seem to enjoy it as much.
I don't like spinning.
Yeah, same.
Neither does the Romilly guy.
Mm-hmm.
When they get into space and they just start spinning.
Yeah, and he's like, we're gonna need a lot of the fucking what's the stuff?
Dramamine.
Dramamine.
Yeah.
But it took 43 minutes for them to even launch the spaceship.
Well, they had to give you the background and everything and what was going on.
It's first a farm movie.
Get the feels coming at you real hard at the beginning. This is a movie I will gladly admit that it cracks. I mean, it tears you up. Like, it has those. I mean, not only is it that type of movie, I love movies like that can elicit emotional responses and stuff. But fucking Matthew McConaughey is a boss. I love his movies, and he's just a great actor. And not that I'm discounting anybody else in the movie because I think everybody in this movie is fantastic.
No, Tim only likes Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, only Matthew McConaughey carried the whole film. Fuck you, music.
Fuck you, Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, Nolan. You guys did nothing. It was all McConaughey. No,
all right, so we're gonna just take that bite and put it out there.
No. Oh shit.
There's more context to it, but this is all you guys need to hear.
Yeah.
I will say that Christopher Nolan expected Matthew McConaughey to be like super laid back on set, and apparently he's like very very driven, and he's like very hardworking. He's not laid back at all.
Yeah.
on set.
I
While
can see that. Yeah.
McConaughey expected Christopher Nolan to be a perfectionist, and he's like, apparently he loves to just talk out scenes with the crew, and
I've
then
heard
he's
that, yeah.
yeah, and he likes the imperfection. So it was kind of funny that they both had like differing views of each other,
Right.
Yeah.
and like it ended up working.
Definitely.
I mean, that's cool though, but
Yeah. I was just gonna say earlier that, like, I agree, like, the build up to the space is kind of, like, feely, and then I feel like we still kind of get some funniness as we get into space. Like, I like that they go over the settings of the robot, and they're like, yeah, we made sure to, like, make him funny because it relaxes us, and, like, I can see that. Like, you know, you kind of want, like, it's kind of back to the Alien Covenant thing, like, you want to feel comfortable around
right.
said
Yeah.
robot, so I thought it was hilarious that they had a sarcasm setting.
All those settings and stuff. That's one of my favorite things
Yeah.
in the movie too, and the fact that the robots are just like, where did this design come from? But like,
Yeah.
they're very capable, and
Yeah.
you kind of like they build your curiosity because you want to see them do stuff, and then like they'll have little gadgets that come out of places and stuff, kind of like R2-D2 but square, or like you know, a rectangle. I love the robots.
Yeah.
So the TARS and Kit robots were based off of the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's where the Nolan's idea for the weird robot.
I
came
remember
from.
hearing that. Now that you say that, yeah. No, they're just cool. I don't know. I love them.
Now, how about that cryo sleep?
Fuck that.
That
right?
Fuck that.
Ah, that
give
made
me,
me
give me the one
uncomfortable.
from the aliens. That one is, especially
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that you have to unseal it from the outside. Like later
Yeah,
on when
no.
Damon's down there and he's got to like rip it open like a package. Oh, nope.
Not a fan. Basically, like you're
What?
putting yourself in cryo sleep in hopes that somebody else
Find
finds
you, yeah.
Right.
Like-
yeah.
But that being said, when what's his name? Romilly is up on the ship when they go down on the wavy planet. He says he went in and out of cryo sleep a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times, yeah. Well, so does Matt Damon's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they talked about how they built it so that they could, because they didn't give them enough resources, right? And so I think that maybe there's a setting on there where I guess it like unzips you itself, because
It probably
how else would you
does.
get out, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're basically saran wrapped
was
in
just-
water. Like, no, thank you.
It was just weird. The one, I mean, when Matt Damon gets out and you're like, wait, hold up, that's how they have to do it every time?
Maybe it was
Right.
different because his model was 10 years old.
Older, and maybe the
Yeah,
robots can do
true.
it too. They can rip
Yeah.
it out of
Because
there.
Kit was around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have different settings, right? He said like he didn't put a activation date or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
there was no opening date, so I wonder if maybe that elicits the
I was
Ziploc
wondering that
bag.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you have no date, sorry.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Have fun. Hopefully somebody finds you.
Bye.
So I want to go back a little bit to, like, when they first kind of get up in space and, like, you learn that it's going to take them 2 years to get to Saturn, right? And so, like, this is kind of where my beef starts to come in with Murph, where, like, I understand that she's a kid and I understand that she, like, has emotions and, you know, she's
Fuck
very
emotions,
stubborn. No, I get that. But, like, so they know that he's going to be away for 2 years, right?
Minimum.
Minimum
yeah.
2 years. And they only send him one message, or that we could tell so far.
Yeah.
And in that, like, she chooses not to be in that one message. Like, I was kind of like, you're a bitch. But I get it because you're a little kid, so, like, I can kind of get there, but I don't know. I didn't think that was fair.
I think being an irrational child, she was like, he's coming back, and so I can stay
Yeah.
mad at him because he's going to come back, and that's when I can break down and be upset, which she kind of
True.
does, you know, a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
later on. So that's kind of like what wrapped my mind around it, because you're like, fuck this kid, man. Like, he loves her.
I
And, like,
know.
obviously they have a huge, like, their relationship is super, like, tight, and then she's, you know, that's why she's pissed off. And it's like, you wouldn't, like, at least want to reach out.
Yeah.
But that's how I kind of, like, wrapped my head around it.
Yeah.
And it's known that it's going to take minimum 4 years
Yeah.
for him
Right.
to even return.
Yeah.
Because he's got to come back, so that's 2 more years of cryo.
Right.
Yeah, but I guess when you're a little kid, you're not thinking about that. But I still, that kind of gives me beef with the other family that, like, knows that. Like, at least the grandpa could have been, like, I don't know, persuading her. And then I just had beef with the family for not sending more than one message. I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
But then, fucking, well, okay, I don't want to get there yet, actually.
Okay. So, brief pause on that. Fucking
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Surf's Up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's where you wanted to go, or that's where
Wait, what?
where we're going?
What?
I'm confused. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I was just gonna say that. So before they get to Miller's planet, they realize that it's next to what, Gargantuan, the big wormhole.
Yes.
Right. And here's where another one of my favorite quotes was. He's like, "I'm not thanking anybody till we get out of here in one piece," because like they're basically saying like, okay, the planet is super close to the wormhole, right?
Yep.
And so like we have to make this whole big plan to go around and land down. Oh, but wait, like the time is so bad there that like it's 7 years. They think
1
it's
hour is 7 years.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so like it's kind of a whole big mess to even go down there. And so I just thought it was a nice healthy dose of skepticism. Like, I'm not thanking anybody, because I think Brant was probably the one. She seemed the optimism of the group, the optimist of the group.
Yeah.
For a while, yeah. But they finally go down to this planet, and it's all watery, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then they find the thing, and they're like, oh, hey, she obviously crashed, and she's not here. We should just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Well,
Which-
yeah.
That's how I felt. Obviously, this is not where we're going to move the whole world.
Right.
All humans.
Well, first of all, I have to say that it's like, it's the first planet.
Right.
Movie perspective, you know it's not the last one. You know they're
Yeah.
not staying. You know something's gonna mess up. They go down there, especially when they were talking about the time and shit, like that we're gonna save time or save some fuel, and we'll be down there 7 years,
Yeah.
come back up, or what? I don't remember the original
Like,
time
that
frame.
never works.
And it was
one,
like
1 hour was 7 years.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, dog, that ain't happening. Like, I've seen it, but I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, nah, something's getting screwed up. And
Oh, yeah.
this is, we kind of talked about this in Donnie Darko, so I'm bringing it up again. This is my idea or aspect of, not my idea, but what I believe time travel would be for us in the future. The capabilities are like something like this. Like we'll probably have the ability to almost not slow down time, but like, you know, something like this. You can go faster in the future, but you can't go backwards at all.
You can
This
go
is
forward, but not back.
kind of like how they explain it in the movie, and so I kind of agree with this movie. Not that I have any background in any to support any of this. It just seems like that's how it would be, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
The rules of
I
the
agree.
world, unless you're a cat, which, you know, it's
Yeah.
a whole different story.
Cats do not abide by the laws of
physics.
physics.
But yeah, go ahead. Go back to, you know,
Mr. Wavy.
Mr. Wavy.
So, yeah, Cooper's sitting on the spaceship being like, hey, guys, that mountain's moving toward us.
And you're not about.
And then Doyle McPoyle is like, hey, Mr. Tar's robot, go get her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he keeps staring at her. Put your left foot in the door as you're watching her come back. Because you're not going to save her.
Right.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
It pissed me off that he didn't even, like, he just basically had stage freeze.
yeah.
I mean, people under pressure, like,
Yeah.
that's a good example of it.
I know, but it bothered me.
It still bothered you. Well,
Yeah.
what bothered me is that I don't understand why those robots don't do that all the time, and I don't understand why we didn't fucking put that robot in that setting when we first got down there to be more efficient, because
Yeah.
they walk slow when they're upright, and then they
Right.
turned into that wheelie thing,
The-
and I'm like, that would have saved you like the whole freaking hour. if
Yeah.
you would've put him in that setting first. Like, Jesus, people, come on now.
I agree.
I was not happy about that.
Some
I was like,
artificial movie suspense there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hot take.
But I will say that, like, landing on Miller's planet looked frightening just because it was, like, so close to the black hole, and, like, the way they landed it was, like, super scary. And then, okay, like, as a viewer, right, you're like, sweet, okay, we got past the black hole. And then you find out that, like, the mountains are big-ass waves, and then I'm back to being, like, super anxious. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
you're like,
great, now they're gonna die. Yeah.
But then you're like, and then they get like flooded, and you're like, oh shit! So they just lost a
Yeah.
lot of time, and you're like, you know it. And then the next one's coming, you're like, so this is how that chick died, probably.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah,
shit.
due to the time difference, like,
Yeah.
she only really got one message off.
Well,
Right.
that's what I love is like I can't remember her name, but
Brand.
Bran, yeah, she was like she could have landed minutes before we did.
Yeah,
That's
that
like
was
what? Like that's nuts.
so depressing.
Yeah,
I-
because depending on how she like landed, because she's flying through the stratosphere, trying to look for a good spot to land. It's like, oh, I could drive for like 3 hours around here and just waste 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Ugh.
Woof.
so is that our first sort of casualty, I guess, in the movie? Is those two, the girl and then the guy that doesn't make it onto the ship?
Yeah.
Because I want to
Yeah.
say, like, they do that very well in this movie. So the kid also dies, right? The first baby from the son on the planet on Earth.
Jesse.
Yeah, but-
that one dies, but I don't remember if it was before this or after this.
It's after this.
It is
It's
after.
after,
So
yeah.
so these are our first like casualties. I want to say they do it very well with the small cast. It's kind of like Aliens, and they have a
Yeah.
small cast. They get picked off, but like it feels very natural in this movie and well done because it's like the dude just. I mean, it builds the suspense with it, right? The dude didn't make it on the ship and he's dead. He's toast. Like there's like, and then they people just
They
being
show
left
his
out
corpse.
in the space like. Basically, that's the sacrifice. That's the hence the bravery, as he says. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just very good how it feels. It's like, oh shit, you could be alone forever. But
Yeah. And then I think they capitalize that later when they find Damon. Like, he's talking about how, like, you don't want to know what it feels like to, like,
see another
know.
person's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you
I'm
thought
like,
you were basically
Oh,
dead, right?
Yeah.
They should have left him dead.
We'll get there.
he was just adamant about the mission, except for the part where he lied so that he could be rescued
Dedicated
and be
to
part
the
of
mission.
the fetus mission.
Yeah.
Well, too bad he doesn't know how to lock a.
You would
lock
think
in.
he was so desperate. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually wrote down that Matt Damon always finds a way home because in every movie he gets like lost somewhere. Look at The Martian. Look at other just
Martian
like
is
movies.
so good too.
He tends to get lost somewhere in rescue.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Matt Damon's gonna be a goodie.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Hmm. I mean, they play it off that way.
Oh.
You think it's that way for sure.
Fuck.
Yeah. I feel like you think he's a good guy until, like, you actually land and then you, like your spidey sense is tingling.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
the robot's down and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and yeah. Well, I guess we're kind of skipping ahead there. So they get off this planet, right?
Yep.
And
The ice planet. I mean,
what,
wave planet.
What was your thought when they get up there? Romney's like, it's been,
It's
and
been
whatever.
23
And then
years.
Tars is like 23 years, so many months, and it's like, what? That was a
Yeah.
huge. I don't know how you guys. I want to know your reaction to it, your initial reaction, because
Oh, I expected it.
yeah, you expected. I didn't expect
Okay.
23 years, but god
Oh,
dang.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
I
you're-
mathed it out because I was like, if it's gonna take like an hour to land, an hour to leave, and 45 minutes of waiting for it to like flush.
Oh,
See, I didn't do
so
any of the
you already knew.
calculations.
I
I figured
didn't
it was
either.
just kinda-
I was gonna
Sorry.
say.
I figured it was
was
just
probably,
spitballing.
Yeah, I was probably the same as you, Tim, where I just felt like so, like, holy shit. And I was so sad. And then, like, he goes into that room and he has 23 messages from his kids and he, like, is sitting there watching them grow up. Oh my god, I cried.
Yeah.
I was like, this
That
is
part
fucking
gets you,
brutal.
and he fucking
Yeah.
kills it there too, because he breaks down, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Is that the
Oh.
crying scene?
Yeah, that's
the
a crying
major
scene.
crying scene. Yeah.
And, like, so apparently that was the first take, and that's it. And, like,
Damn.
he, like, Nolan wanted to do, like, a wide shot of it or whatever, and, like, McConaughey was like, no, you're gonna do a close-up or whatever. But, like, I think it makes sense that it's the first take, because McConaughey was saying this, but, like, the first time through, you're just, like, receiving it, like, letting it hit you, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, anytime after that, you're gonna be, like, you know, I don't know, you're gonna be anticipating certain things, right? And so I
Right.
think, like, that's part of the, like, being the audience, like...
Yeah.
I am shocked that you didn't cry, Adam, because, like, it was tough. It was really tough to sit through. And then especially, like, with Murph, where she still is fucking being a bitch as an
she's
adult.
Angry. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, finally, like, you see her come on, I think. And, like, but it's towards the end, and it's almost, like, too late for her to redeem herself in my eyes.
It was
and then,
present
like,
day for her
Yeah.
when she finally came back.
and then you find out, like, his kid has a kid, and then the kid dies, and it was just like, whew.
Yeah.
It was rough. So rough.
Oh, that's rough, buddy.
So you were just like, whatever about
Yeah.
it? Oh my god.
I turned off emotions, I suppose.
Oh my.
I will say I was really sad for Romley
Okay.
because
He's
like
up there by himself for
for
so
23
long.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad for him for sure.
That was what I felt worst about. I know that's kind of shitty to say, but like I personally probably would have just put myself in a cryo sleep, maybe woken up like depending on how much you could like wake yourself up. Because like if it's a situation where it's like, oh, we only have like 5 capsules for you,
Yeah.
don't waste them. I don't know. I would have put myself to sleep because I would have gone insane.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of hints to that, but he kind of like brings that up that he slept a few times and he just didn't expect him to come back at some point, so he just stayed awake.
Yeah. And I was going to say, like, for a little bit, though, he's studying the wormhole, right?
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
think, like, but fucking 23 years of studying the wormhole is not going to work. But I was going to say, like, I feel like you'd kind of keep yourself busy and part of the mission, especially if you know it's going to be at least 7 years. Like, I think the first 7 years, you're kind of like, all right, this is fine. Like, I'll get through this, you know, I'll bulldoze through it for the mission. But then I think after that first 7 years, you're probably, like, starting to realize, like, holy shit. And then also you're starting to realize, like, holy shit, 7 years is a long time to wait for them.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And that poor dude dies.
Yeah, he gets blowed up by Matthew Dickahead.
Mr. Man?
Mr.
Dr. Man?
Dr. Man.
Yeah.
Which, what a dick. He, like, fakes all this data. Cooper's just like, we gotta go to him. His shit looks the best. He sent the most signals out.
Mm-hmm.
While the other guys are like, oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, and I think, like, part of the reason why he wins that argument is literally just because, like, he can exploit the fact that Bran was in love with Edmondson. So, like, I feel like he kind of exploited that fact and basically went, like, you said he was the best of the best, like, let's go to him.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if she hadn't had an emotional connection to Edmondson, like, they might have ended up
they might have
there.
So
there.
this is my take on it. While I agree with that completely, I think it's supposed to show kind of a character flaw with him. I think he's supposed to be like the whole time, right? This whole time he's pretty much been right and been able to figure out things for people, like the whole mission to like fix stuff, do whatever. This is a flaw. This is a mistake he makes. This is a judgment call that he thinks he's right, and it shows like kind of his stubbornness that he was wrong. He made a mistake, and I think it kind of helps him develop his character a little bit, and not be the end all be all in the movie.
Yeah, and I like that too because I think it would have been boring if they go to Edmondson's planet or whatever or whoever, and regardless if they did it different and Matthew McConaughey was just like right again, then I think it would be like a boring movie. Like, look at this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Yeah.
I'm right.
There are certainly movies like that, and it gets old.
And then you got to wonder. So I'm going to jump to the end of this because we're talking about it, because that ends up being the planet that looks like, you know, he's built all the stuff there, and the guy dies. He sacrifices. You know, do what?
I assumed that she put all that stuff up.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought she had landed, and because he had all the data and stuff. And my take on it was that she had landed because she didn't have anything but the ship. I get. Well, yeah, you're probably right then because
she had the landing ship. Like
she had the big station.
Yep.
I'm curious about that now because I took it as like he did it, and but it could have been her easily, and she could have landed, as they said, you know, moments after he did. But he sent all his data out, and I figured he was. Because he died, he had set up all that stuff, was prepping it and everything, and like he eventually died, but he probably died.
Could very well be either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
I would love to know how he
I like
died.
that you brought that up. I do. Yeah, I would like to know too. But it goes to show that it looks like she was right. I mean, that's how I feel about it. It feels like that she was right to go to him in the end. But
yeah. True dat.
what was the next point? Because I jumped ahead there.
I was just gonna say, like, we were on the ice planet, so did you guys have anything else about, like, I guess, like, Dr. Man or anything like that?
No, but I have some stuff to say about Professor Brand.
Okay.
Sir Michael Caine himself. I honestly, like, logistically, I can understand his plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get there mentally.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with it morally.
Yeah.
You're basically saying the world is dead. Fuck them all.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
Go ahead,
exactly was the whole point. Sorry, I keep jumping in front of you, but that was like the point of the whole thing is he sacrificed his humanity to save the species rather than the people that are currently around. Yeah.
Well, and I was going to say, I think it's easier to reconcile in your head. This is terrible. It's easier to reconcile that in your head when you know that the planet is already doomed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if this had been, like, in the past when the planet was still on the brink of, like, actually being able to be saved and it wasn't just, like, an escape plan, I think that it may have been different. Maybe not. But I definitely think it's easier to sleep with your decision if you're like, we're already dying anyway.
Yeah.
Personally.
Right.
I guess I'm a
agree.
terrible
Well, I think it was.
terrible person.
I thought it was a good idea. Not a good idea. I thought it was smart that he didn't tell them that Plan A wasn't real
I agree.
and that Plan B was real. Because, like, you won't get the same people. Like,
Yep.
you're not going to get the experienced pilot who has a family here on Earth.
Right.
Right. And I think, I don't know, it's just a lot easier to, like, do something like this if you feel like you have multiple options. I mean, even if they knew, like, or kind of, like, figured it out on their own that, like, Plan B was really the better option, or, like, the end-all be-all option, like, at least they could have said they tried to make Plan A work, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel like a terribly shitty person.
Right.
Which one makes you feel worse? Being like, fuck all you people are like, well, I at least tried.
Yeah, exactly.
You,
I don't
A
know.
for effort.
I actually want to change my mind on that. I feel like knowing that I failed Plan A might be horrible. So never mind. Like knowing that you were the one that
Take it all
fucked
back.
up Plan A. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't want that kind of shit on my conscience. Oh man. But I do want to back up a little bit to just like all the planets, right? So they named them after the people that landed there, right? And
Yeah.
so I think like that's kind of a cool thing to think about because right now all of our planets are like mostly named by like the Romans and Greeks, right? After their gods and stuff. And like, wouldn't it be cool to like have other planets and get to name them? Like, Miller's Planet is so fucking boring. Like, I get it. Out of necessity, you named it Miller's Planet. But like,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be fun to be like wavy, crash,
Wavy,
crash
wavy
or something?
doodah.
Like, not that that's a good name,
Oh,
but you
the
know
big
what I mean.
kahuna.
Yeah, like just thinking of some fun names for the not even fun names. Just like
Sam
being
wants to just
able
name planets. That's
to
her new
name
job.
planets is nice. I think
Oh,
was
that's
all I
cool.
was getting at.
Yeah.
Are you calling my life's work nonsense?
Well,
That kind of worked right there.
yeah, it did. But I was gonna say like the other part to the naming the planets is like imagine you're, Murph, right? Who ends up getting, let's just say we end up getting to another planet, even though she was still on the space station. And like you're like, oh yeah, I lived on Earth, and then like what's the process of naming New Earth? Like is it just New Earth? Is it Earth 2.0? Do you have a whole new name? Like
Right.
you guys aren't as excited about this as I am.
Earth
It's
to
okay.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yes. Exactly.
You say that, but they named the station Cooper Station.
I know. I'm like, come on, be a little more creative. But I think like the station is allowed to be named after somebody, but
It makes sense.
you
I
named-
agree with you with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes
Named
sense.
it after me, huh?
yeah.
Sorry, sir. We named it after your daughter. Ah,
That's a
damn.
low blow. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, I love that though. She like giggles. And it's like, what? Named after Dr. Murphy, not you, asshole.
Yeah,
I
right?
fucking love
Like,
Oh, shit.
Could you imagine? So I'm back on Man Planet.
okay.
Planet Man.
Ice planet.
Yeah, Ice Planet or Planet Man. That's more fun to say.
That's fine.
Or the Man Planet
Yeah,
or Man It.
I get it.
Anyways, the like what is 24 hours to us is 134 hours.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah. Like
63 hours day and night. I was like, oh, I could get so much done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
That was what your mind went to? You
Yeah.
can get so much done?
Sorry.
I don't think your body's going to stay awake that whole time.
It might. You can adjust. The only reason we like sleep
Adjust.
how we do now is out of necessity, right? Because we had like the 24-hour cycle and we evolutionized to like, I mean, I don't know. It's debatable if you need 8 hours of sleep. That's what they say. But you know what I mean? Like people clearly don't sleep 8 hours of sleep. So I'm just saying, like, if you were given the option right away to be awake for 62 hours, do you think like the normal sleep amount would be like
20?
yeah, or do you think it would be shorter? Like,
Depend. I think it would still be 8.
would naps be more common? Like, you don't go to sleep for 8 hours at a time, you just take a couple naps?
So here's, I've done a little research on this, not a lot, and I'm probably completely wrong, but I don't think I am.
That's okay.
I agree with the theory that sleeping for as long as we do is not optimal. For
Yeah.
the normal, 6 to 8 hours is not how we should function. I believe that the body should get, 4 to 6 hours primary, and a nap is usually how, I don't
You
know,
do
it's more optimal than sleeping straight 8 hours. Now, that being said, who has time in a day to take an extra hour nap all the time? And I'm just saying in general, like, there's not every day that you can do that. So say you get 4 hours of sleep one day and you don't get your nap, you're probably going to feel like shit for 2 days.
Right?
Oh, that was
yeah.
me on Wednesday this last week.
Yeah. I mean,
Legitimately, I got 4 hours
it
of sleep
sucks.
and then
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
nap.
So I think optimally having a decent sleep and then a nap later on is how our bodies function better. But not that I've done that in practice as much as I'd like to, but that's how I feel
Tim's
about
trying
it.
to follow the Batman schedule. Let's be real.
True.
It's like, what, he sleeps 4 hours a night? That's it?
Yeah.
And
no.
like for 2 2-hour increments? It's something ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Going back to the movie, though. Tim said that this movie didn't feel like 3 hours.
Yes.
And with 45 minutes remaining, I thought there were still only 20 minutes left. Because I was like, oh, cool, we're towards the end. Right? Nah,
Sure.
it just kept going for me.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It felt
Yeah,
long.
I thought it felt long.
I didn't think it felt long.
Interesting.
Do it.
Yeah, that is interesting. Maybe you picked the wrong person, Tim.
I had a feeling though, because I was like, I don't know. Adam hasn't seen it. I could see him being like, I don't know, because he's got a mathy brain and all this shit in this, and he's kind of scientific. So I'm curious if it'll detach him a little
Stupid
bit.
science bitch.
Stupid.
I will say, though,
How many times can we say that?
at least 3. I will say that the home, once he gets back to his house, Mike, they're like, we made it. We made sure it just looked just like how you had it when you left. I'm like, yeah, except there's a hell of a lot less dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like clearly new, right? It's
Yeah.
it's like manufactured. So
Yeah. And we just skipped the whole 4th dimension.
Right.
I just realized that.
yeah, I mean, I thought that was really cool, but I don't know that I had anything to say.
It was
you
interesting
think-
for the movie, or
Yeah.
just the whole concept of the thing is like they put it there. It was gravity, because that to me is kind of time travel against of what they were talking about. Like, how is he able to go in there and like based off of his memories go in there? I mean, essentially time travel, because he was like,
Yes. He Bill and Ted'd it.
yeah. And I had a little problem with that because I thought it wasn't in line with the movie, but I thought it was very cool and I loved the connection it made. You were my ghost the whole time and nobody believed me.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I just thought it was weird for the whole theory of like the gravity and just the rest of the movie, I guess.
Yeah, just the way that it was like, I feel like they kind of leaned on the crutch of like the black hole, like you don't know what's there, and like
Yeah.
they kind of constructed their own world in it. Though, yeah, like it was dope, and I liked the connection that I made. I think it's, if you're gonna shit on any part of this for stretching, it would be that part.
Because, yeah, that makes sense. I will say that Murph's first line in the movie is, I thought you were the ghost. You were my ghost. That's her first line in the film.
Really?
Yep. And then later Cooper says, once you're a parent, you're the ghost of your children's future.
Yeah.
So I'm like, deep.
Yeah. Pulling it all together with
Yeah.
a nice bow.
I know, right? Some good screenwriting right there.
Well, I was going to say, to jump back to like the manufactured world,
Mm-hmm.
I did agree with him where he's like sitting on his front porch and he's like, I don't care much for this pretending back where
Yeah.
we started.
Yep.
And I agree with that. Like, I feel like throughout this whole movie, you're known that like he's an exploring character and he like wants to go and do these great things. And just like by nature, he's a curious person and like wants to be out there. So I agree with that. Like, I think it'd be super fucking weird to be like, here's my manufactured house that looks exactly like my old house.
Right.
And I'm just like sitting here doing nothing now. Like,
You
I
said
had the
like
fate of
farming.
humanity on my hands, and now I just sit on my front porch with a lemonade. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work for me.
Nah.
And he was what, 33?
Yeah, he wasn't old.
I don't know. So,
Well, technically he was, but
Tech.
his
he was at
body
least
wasn't
35. No, yeah, he was 33 because his body would be not have aged
Right.
because of cryo and gravity and whatever.
That's all.
I don't know.
I was like, yeah, I expected more, and it just stopped.
Yeah, he had like,
Like,
a loading face on, so I was like, I'm gonna let him keep processing, and then he just fizzled out.
Yep, that's how
okay,
it works
though.
sometimes.
That's okay. I did it earlier, so it's fine.
Do you guys have anything else?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Fire away, Sam.
I was just gonna say, like, so I think Adam touched on this. I was a little bit shocked that there weren't as many bombs. Like, I think
That's
there was
because
only,
Zimmer
like-
chose not to do the bloms.
Oh, okay. There was a lot of piano though, and I liked the
Which-
score.
yes.
Makes more
Yeah.
sense. He asked him to tone down the string instruments, and he still did it. I don't care.
I thought it was nice, and I thought it fit. But knowing Nolan, I was expecting at least like more than one. I think I heard like one, and it was toned down.
I know.
It was
I was
good
like-
though. I mean, because the music
Yeah.
was still phenomenal. I love the music in this
Exactly.
movie. I mean,
Yeah.
how can you not? I don't know. We always go on this or at least I always go on this rant about music when it comes to these guys. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's like so much part of the film. Like
It
one
really
of
is.
my favorite awards. I don't know if we've gone through this, but my favorite award is the score award, and I get really invested on that for the Oscars because like it sets the whole tone for the movie. And like if you have a shitty soundtrack, look at Fantastic Four, you like you get pulled out. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
you really do.
And we were talking about Paper House. I think parts of it didn't really make any sense.
That's
and like
the one.
And like
Yeah.
Paper House gets placed as a horror just because of the music. So yeah, like the music is very important. And I think when you have like legends like Zimmer and Williams, and I'm trying to think of Howard Shore. Yeah, I was
John
like,
Powell.
I was like the Lord of the Rings. What's that guy's name?
Howard Shore, yeah, that guy.
Like I think it really just it's great. So I think it still worked definitely. But then I was just gonna say like this movie makes me sad. No, like there's a lot of sad parts to it, and then I think like he comes back to the space station thing just to see Murph die, and like at this point she's kind of like she's clearly over everything, and she's like happy that he was the ghost and all that, but it's horrible to watch. It's like, oh, I just got back for you to die. Sweet.
Okay, thanks. Die.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, it was so sad. You didn't think it was sad?
No.
Ugh.
Because
Tim,
I felt
did you
like
think it was sad?
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't find it sad because she knew, like, because she was happy that she found out he was her ghost.
Yeah, but still.
It's a bittersweet sort of, I guess. Like
Bittersweet
it's sad.
symphony,
Yeah, I don't know. I agree that it was sad. Yeah, I just agree with Sam. Sorry, Adam.
It's okay. I was curious. Like, they don't really say what happened to Tom in the end. I was a little sad
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, the brother.
Yeah.
I assume he's pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I kind of feel like, so since he didn't really want to, like, I don't know, I guess he just wanted to, like, stay on the farm, and, like, I don't know if that was his way of,
He
like,
liked farming.
yeah, but I don't know if that was his way of, like, preserving his dad, like, the dad that he knew sort of thing. I don't know. But anywho, I kind of do get the vibe that he just was, like, not probably on board with this whole plan, and just was, like, because there's always going to be people that are like that, so.
Yeah.
But I can reserve the rest of my thoughts for our end segment. Tim, do you have anything?
I definitely held back tears multiple times in this movie
Yes.
and let some
Just
fly
let 'em
just
out,
because
man.
I do a little bit, but it's just kind of like I'm trying to watch the movie. Damn it.
Tim's
So it's like-
doing the thing from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, where the cop like pulls the tear in back into his eye.
But yeah, I mean, there's several points, and to come back to the sad point, I pretty much lose it when Murph is at the end. She's like, "I'm with my family here now. Go on, find Bran."
Yeah.
Oh my God, I lose it.
It's
But,
terrible.
I actually, in the very beginning, when he first he comes back from NASA and she's pissed off in her room, and he knocks on the door and she's like, "Go away." I started tearing up there because I already knew everything that happened. So I'm like, no, Murph, no.
Don't do it.
Murph, no. And then when he's like in the black hole, and he's like, "No, Murph, make him stay, make him stay." I'm like, Murph. But yeah. So this movie, yeah.
It definitely pulls at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
And I do feel like the more that you watch it, the more I would be in line with
Oh
that
God,
too,
it's
'cause,
so
like-
hard. Know when it's coming, you're like, oh.
It's another Christopher Nolan thinker. He makes
Definitely.
and like, I mean, Inception's another one that he has that makes you want to rewatch it
Yep.
to see like what you can catch.
Yep.
Yeah.
hmm
So I
He's
can
good
see
at
it.
that.
Well,
Okay, now.
I think we're done.
Tim,
Yeah,
are you ready for a cast?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I got a hell of a long cast.
Yeah. There are a lot of people in this movie.
All right, Matthew McConaughey plays Cooper, which I thought that was his first name, and then I realized it was their last name.
Right, yeah.
Anyways, he is in The Gentleman, which is a Guy Ritchie film that I liked and Sam liked.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna speak for her. I don't know if it's...
No, I liked it.
He's also in True Detective and Dazed and Confused.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
10-year-old Murph is played by Mackenzie Foy.
Wait. You forgot his Lincoln commercials. Now you may continue.
All right. Oh, yeah. Well, Murph, The 10-year-old version of Murph was played by Mackenzie Foy.
She looked familiar.
Yeah, she's in Breaking Dawn, part 1 and 2.
Oh, she's the kid.
She's Renesmee.
Ah.
She's also in The Conjuring and Nutcracker in the Four Realms.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw her face and I was like, I want to look it up, but I know Adam's going to tell me, so I'll
Yeah.
just resist.
Adult Murph is played by Jessica Chastain. She's in Ava, It 2, The Martian.
Nice.
She's in Molly's Game and then Dark Phoenix and then Zero Dark 30. She had a lot of short ones, so I could write more.
Yeah.
And then Old Lady Murph is played by Ellen Burstyn, which she was in Requiem for a Dream, Lucy in the Sky, Age of Adeline,
Nice.
and then Tim's film The Fountain.
I love
Nice.
The Fountain. That's a good one.
See? And then Mr. Henderson, also known as Donald, is played by John Lithgow.
Yeah.
He's in... You remember him from Harry and the Hendersons, episode 1?
Yep.
Yes.
Call back. He does Third Rock from the Sun. He's in The Crown. He's Winston Churchill. We've watched one episode of it. Sam watched one. I was in and out. And then he's also in Dexter, apparently.
He's in a lot of stuff. I feel like.
Interesting.
Yeah. 15-year-old Tom is played by Timothy. Ayo, there you go. Chalamet. He's in Homeland. He's in Little Women. That's the new one. He's in Call Me By Your Name, The King, and Lady Bird. He's done a lot of a lot of Academy, Oscar-worthy movies recently, I feel like.
Yeah, I think he won for Call Me By Your
Call Me
Name.
By Your Name, yeah. And then older Tom, adult Tom, is played by Casey Affleck, which I thought was a really good, adult version of him,
Yeah,
Right.
personally.
I think it worked.
Yeah, Casey Affleck is in the Ocean's movies, because that's what everybody thinks of him, and definitely not Manchester by the Sea and Gone Baby Gone. Tars, not going to leave out Tars, it's played by Bill Irwin. He's in Law & Order SVU, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Legion.
Nice.
Brand is played by Anne Hathaway. She's in the new is it Ronald Dahl or Roald Dahl? I always forget how to say his name.
Well, I don't know.
Sam? Dolls. Like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Now you've got me overthinking it.
I think it's Roald.
Roald Dahl.
Roald.
Roald.
It's like
Dahl.
Ronald but without the N.
Yeah, Roald Dahl.
But they recently did the movie The Witches.
Yeah, I heard people were
Their opinions on it.
divided.
She's also in The Dark Knight Rises as Catwoman. She's also in a Ocean's movie, Ocean's 8.
Yeah.
Les Mis and The Devil Wears Prada. Romilly is played by David Gyasi. He's in Come Away, The Dark Knight Rises, Carnival Row. I believe he is the rich dude that moves
Yeah,
in,
I think
and
so
then
too.
he's also in Annihilation.
Oh, yeah, he is the rich dude, isn't he? Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the rich. They're not goat people, but they're goat people.
Yeah.
Ram people, not goats. Let's get more specific. Professor Brand is played by Sir Michael Caine. He's in Tenet,
The new one, yeah.
yeah, Inception, The Dark Knight series, The Prestige, and Dunkirk.
Literally all of Nolan's films.
Yeah, by the
Not
way,
literally,
just
but
if you
most of
want to
them.
know, Christopher Nolan does all of those and then also Memento, but we'll get to that
Ooh,
later.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I forgot that you do the directors.
Yeah, I know. Doyle McPoyle is played by Wes Bentley.
He looked familiar.
Yes, he does. He is an American Horror Story. Never seen it. Yellowstone. Never seen it. American Beauty. Haven't seen it in a long time, but we both know him as Crane from The Hunger Games. He's the dude with the cool beard.
Yeah.
He does have a cool beard.
I have beard envy of him because his beard is always just so nice and
Yeah, it looks dope.
pristine looking.
Yeah.
Where he can do the crazy shape, which I assumed his beard was 100% fake. It still could have been in the movie Hunger Games.
Yeah, they could have laid some hair to fill it out.
But it looked like the same fullness in this movie. So I was like, maybe it was real. Man is played by Matt Damon. So this is an interesting one. He was not listed in the original cast. He wasn't in any commercials. Not in the original cast. He didn't go to the premiere even.
They made him a secret.
They made him a secret
Nice.
character.
That's cool.
But Matt Damon got lost on Mars as the Martian,
Also
where he's a
good movie.
botanist.
Yeah.
He's in Good Will Hunting, The Departed, and he's also in the Oceans series. Getty. You guys remember Getty, right?
No.
He is the doctor. Topher Grace,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
who is Eric Foreman in That 70s Show.
Yeah.
Yep.
He also is in Spider-Man 3,
Nice.
The the worst one. He's Venom in that, Sam. Just
Nice.
I know you haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he'd be a great Venom. Not at
He's
all.
in Black Klansman, and then he's also in Ocean's 11.
Nice.
Mind you, Oceans have a lot of people in them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting that we got a lot from this one film.
Yeah.
The principal, because he looked really familiar to me, so I wrote him down. I recognized his name. He's like in a new movie with a couple other actors that I was excited to see, and I completely forget what it's called, so whatever. But he's played by David Oyelowo.
Okay.
Oyelowo. I thought he was the guy from the Little America show on
Okay.
Apple TV. He is not.
Oh.
But he's in Come Away. He's in Star Wars Rebels. He's in Wrinkle in Time.
Nice.
And then MI5.
Nice.
I swear I'm almost done, guys.
I don't.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I am done. The director is Christopher Nolan. He does 10. He did all the movie. Just rewind back to Sir Michael Caine, and that's all of Christopher Nolan's films and more.
Mm-hmm.
But he also screenwrote this film, and he worked with a guy named Dr. Kip Thorne,
Okay.
who was a theoretical physicist. The whole movie plot came from his theories on like interstellar travel.
Nice.
Interesting.
And they got into a very, very I don't know if it was heated, but a long debate. It took 2 weeks to get through. Basically, Dr. Kip Thorne is like, you are not going to change any laws that are already that are already made. Like,
Yeah.
If it's real, like if it's been proven, we're not changing it. And he wanted to basically say that the speed of light like does something with time, and Kip Thorne's like, nope, you're
We're
not putting
doing
that.
it. Nice.
It took 2 weeks to convince Nolan to not do that.
Yeah.
And originally, this movie was supposed to be made in 2006
Oh.
with Steven Spielberg.
Oh.
So the original writer for it was Christopher Nolan's brother. I believe his name is John Nolan.
Yeah.
And he was working on it. And then when Spielberg bowed out, he goes to his brother and is like, hey, you want to make a movie with me? And they made the movie.
Nice.
And it did really well.
Yeah.
So well that the box office was $696.3 million. Hell of a budget, though. 165.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful.
It was-
Yeah.
They needed, and they had a lot of big actors that they had to pay.
They did.
check.
They did.
Send paychecks to. So.
And it won, like I said, the Oscar for visual effects. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's all my notes now, guys. I swear I'm done
Damn.
for now.
That's a lot.
Well done.
So, Tim, I don't even want to bother asking you.
How dare.
Tim, would you flip it on?
I mean, how could you not? Yeah, it's 100% a flip on. It's super rewatchable. I love this movie. I love these types of movies that get you super involved with the music, the acting, directing, theories, everything. And it's not super predictable, even though there is, a plot storyline that you could usually be like, oh, I know what happens next. Or as I mentioned earlier, the first planet's not the last planet kind of thing. There's always tropes.
You're
and stuff,
halfway through the
but
film.
Yeah.
You're halfway through a 3-hour film. Clearly, the first planet's not the last.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, no, I love it. I absolutely love the movie, and I think it's worthy even for people that may not think they're gonna like it. So it's also another reason why I picked it, and it's amazing. I don't know. Yeah, flip it on and watch it multiple times.
All the time.
Oh, just on repeat. Just
Yeah.
watch it 4 times a day. Just keep watching it. No, not 4 times. 8 times. I was only doing a 12-hour increment there.
Well, I mean, the music would probably sustain you. You would,
Yeah.
listen to the music.
So,
That much
Sam?
at that point.
Sam, you were the target here
I know.
of Tim's splitting of the pod.
Yep.
Would you flip it on?
So, yes. I would say that, I was kind of, on the fence about flipping it off for parts of the movie.
Mhm.
And then, once you kind of see the whole thing, I was like, yes, I love this movie. I think it's really great. And I think the parts that make me want to flip it off have really nothing to do with the movie, itself, more of, the message, I guess. Well, not even the message. Because, at the end, right, he's an explorer, he goes off to go find Brand, it kind of gives you hope, right? But then I think, the negative person in me says, like, this is incredibly selfish of humans. Like, you already wasted one planet. So I guess that kind of is, like, a whole conversation that probably shouldn't happen in this podcast. But, like, that's the root of my thing. Like, you already destroyed one environment. Like, I don't really think you're worthy to get another environment and destroy it.
Yeah.
So, like, that part of me was like, oh, I really don't want to flip this movie on for that. But I'm like, but it's a really great movie, and I don't think that's a good reason to flip it off, right? Like,
Right.
I enjoyed the entire movie. Like, I would definitely watch it again. I thought that the 3 hours went by fine, and I definitely, like, cried multiple times, so it's good in my book. So, Adam, you had some interesting points that I did not expect you to have, so would you flip it on?
Unfortunately for Tim, I'm going to also flip it on.
I'm shocked.
Shaw.
I kind of am. You were a little bit salty about some parts of it.
Well, like you said, I'm going to quote Bill and Ted's here.
Okay.
Sometimes things don't make sense until the end of the story.
True.
Yep.
Which I feel works very well for this, because it kind of happens in every time travel film, right? Like, you don't really know like, it's hard to judge a movie as you're watching it until you have the full story.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna, like, morph throughout time, etc., etc. But yeah, I liked it. I like space travel movies. I thought there was gonna be more space travel in the first 45 minutes, but it was a farm movie at first, and I was like, welcome to Farmville. I have issues with farm movies. Looking at you, Warhorse.
Yeah.
That's true. You don't like movies that start out as farm movies and turn into something else. That's not your genre, I guess.
No, I don't. I get it. Like, it doesn't need to be 45 minutes.
Of farming.
Of
Got
farming.
it. Okay, so if you want to target Adam, make sure you get a 45-minute farming movie start.
Or no, an hour
Yeah,
and a half.
exactly.
You're gonna have to go for the full 90 minutes of farming.
Yeah, but I'm going to jut in here, and you liked First Cow, and that's an entire movie about farming.
Is it about farming, or is it about stealing milk from a cow?
I mean, the cow is on a farm. But anyway,
It's
that's a different
That's a
story.
disagreement right there about whether or not it's a farm movie. Anyways, I would say flip it on if you like Zimmer,
Definitely.
Nolan,
McConaughey.
McCain.
If you want a good cry. Well, I don't know that I really had a good cry, but, like, you
A
definitely
rough cry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said McCain instead of Michael Caine. Ha!
Oh.
But
If
yeah,
you like space movies, if you like time travel movies,
if you want to see Matt Damon actually get stuck on a planet.
if you want to see Matt Damon as an asshole, I feel like very seldom is he an asshole.
Yeah, he's normally the good guy. He's always like, oh, I'm the goodie.
Yeah, and if he is an asshole, it's kind of like a fun, playful asshole. Like, he's straight up just an asshole.
Yeah.
Right, like,
And I liked that.
it was a little different. It was a little different.
And the ice planet was so pretty.
It was
well, there
cool.
were a lot of pretty shots. If you like cinematography, flip it on.
Yeah, that's true. If you like
Or
VFX.
visual effects, whatever it is.
Did you know VFX stands for visual effects?
I did.
That's a whole Avenue 5 joke.
If you want to see some crazy robots do some shit, and if you like corn, obviously.
Oh, if you're corn
Obviously.
fed. Sorry, there's a whole thing from The Gentleman, like, where Matthew McConaughey and a couple other guys go through, like, different terminology, like, languages, and he has to explain Texas terms, and corn fed is one of them.
Yeah, my dad says corn fed all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. But anyways, I'll move on. We're going to spin the wheel, not flip the wheel.
You could try
Flip.
flipping.
I
Flip-
know my
flip
phone
the
doesn't
wheel.
need any more damages. All right, here we go. Where will I get it for the next time? Who knows? Here it is. Ooh,
I don't know.
brand
what this category
new
is.
category called Branching Out. Basically, it's a movie that you typically wouldn't like choose. Like, for instance, Tim wouldn't be like, I want to watch a romance movie
Or a musical.
or a musical. So Tim would choose one of those genres or it could be like, oh, I want to go watch the South Korean film.
Okay.
So, like, branching out of, like, your normal bubble
Okay.
is the idea of this category.
All right.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's what we got in store for you guys next week.
Woo woo.
You're picking?
I'm up.
I'm interested to see what you pick because
Yeah,
I
me
feel
too.
like you like a lot of genres. So this should be interesting.
I don't have a country music genre.
Guess we're watching a country music film.
I should say, what I'm saying is, I like most music genres except for country music. Fight me.
So I think you should branch out. I'm just kidding. Find out next week, I guess.
Next week on Flippin' Flicks.
Ooh, that was a good one.